What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of MLB action on Monday, September 1st. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price I think is the best chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, went just about as good as it could possibly go. I always tell you not to parlay these picks, and that's not what they're designed to be, but if you parlayed them yesterday, guys, we went 4-0. Got off to a great start with the Reds at -140. They didn't get off to a great start in that game. St. Louis actually went up 2-0 in the first inning, but the Reds would eventually win 7-4 thanks to a pretty bad day there from the Cardinals pitching staff in general, and the Reds bullpen actually locking things down. We continued there with the Rays at -150, a comfortable 7-4 win thanks to the Rays taking a 6-0 lead in the second inning. Seymour, he was fine out there over his 5 innings. The Rays bullpen was great. Lord had a really tough day there for the Nationals, and we get the win despite their bullpen actually being pretty good, which is not something you expect there from Washington. We cashed both our dog of the day and our lock of the day. We had Atlanta at +130. It was awesome to see them win 3-1 there on Sunday Night Baseball to cash that dog of the day. Waldrop was very good in his 5 2/3 innings, and the bullpen combined to give only a single hit. The Phillies bullpen once again had a terrible day, giving up all 3 runs. The Braves scored and taking the loss. So we cashed our dog of the day and we cashed our massive lock of the day, guys. We had Detroit at -175. In Skubal, we trust. Shutout, 5-0 win there for the Tigers. Skubal worked 7 shutout innings, and the bullpen was lights out. Detroit only allowed 4 hits over the entire game. So a 4-0 day. Very, very nice to see that. Nice to bounce back a little bit, and we're back after it, guys. We got a full slate to cover here on a relatively busy Monday. So we're going to dive right in looking at our first game of the day here. We've got the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Marlins come into this game fresh off a very successful series against the Mets. They won 3 out of 4 in that one. At 65-72 on the year, it doesn't seem very possible that they're going to end up playing in the postseason, but this franchise has taken a big step forward this season. Alcantara had a great start there yesterday, and unfortunately, we don't have a confirmed starter for the Marlins for this game, so that's probably why there's no numbers out as yet for this one, but definitely think, the Marlins rotation has some very reasonable pieces in there. I know they're 29th in quality starts. There's been lots of moving pieces in there, yada, yada, yada. I'm expecting relatively decent stuff from the Marlins there, whoever they end up having start this game. Now, in terms of the bullpen, things have been a little bit different for the Marlins. 4.37 bullpen ERA has them among the worst in the majors. So that has been a bit of a concern. Now, the offense, it's been doing some positive stuff. 5, 11, 9, 7, and 1 over their last few games. Obviously not the most consistent group, but they are 17th in runs scored, top 10 in batting average, 18th in on-base percentage. Big steps in the right direction for a team that was not very good at the plate a season ago and just not very good across the board, and they're looking a lot better this year. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Nationals, who have now lost 8 straight games at 53-83 on the year. It's been kind of a debacle. They'll hand the ball in this one to Andrew Alvarez. This young 26-year-old left-hander coming up from the minor leagues, going to be making this start. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not super high. I don't know what we're going to get from this kid. Not necessarily a phenom coming up here. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, the Nationals bullpen has been the worst in the majors this season. A 5.48 bullpen ERA is horrendous. The offense hasn't been anything too special either. 4-1-1, 2-1, 5, and 2 over their last several games. They're down to 23rd in the majors in runs scored. They're 25th in slugging percentage. I just don't have a lot of positive things to say right now about the Washington Nationals. So unfortunately, no numbers as of yet for this game. So it'll have to be a wait and see spot until we get some things confirmed. Next up, guys, we're looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers got the win for us yesterday with Skubal on the mound, so slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Tigers with us yesterday as our lock of the day. The Mets come into this game losers of 3 out of their last 4, and losing 3 out of 4 against the Marlins is not a great look. They're now 6 games back in the NL East. They'll hand the ball in this one to Sean Manaea, who's 1-2 on the season, a 5.01 ERA. He did have a little bit of a bounce back start his last time on the mound. He was part of that very nice series the Mets had against the Phillies, but 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, and 2 earned runs is not amazing, and he really struggled over his few starts before that. I don't believe he's faced the Tigers yet this year. No, he hasn't, and his season didn't start until mid-July. So we'll see what Manaea can do here down the stretch, but I'm not super high on the way he's been throwing the ball recently. It hasn't looked good over his last probably at least 4, maybe 5 starts. So we'll see what he can do, but I'm worried. Now, the bullpen for the Mets also giving us reason for worry, all the way up to a 3.93 bullpen ERA. This unit has generally been good this year, but down the stretch, there's been plenty of problems. Some problems in that series against the Marlins for sure, and the offense, I mean, they scored 1 run in their last game. They did have that 19-run outburst in game 2 of that series, but overall wasn't amazing. They did have a good series against the Phillies, so maybe they can get back after it here. They had I don't know. I'm worried about this team just in general. They're down to 9th in runs scored, 10th in batting average. They're 5th in on-base percentage and 5th in slugging percentage, but really feels like they're kind of searching for answers right now. So we'll see what they do on the road against the Tigers, who have a 9.5 game lead in the AL Central coming off that win yesterday. They'll hand the ball in this game to Charlie Morton. He's 9-10 on the year, a 5.25 ERA. Since coming over in that trade there, Baltimore, coming over from Baltimore, he's been pretty reasonable. He did have one terrible start there against the Angels, and his last time out wasn't great against the Athletics, but he's had 3 good starts and 2 mediocre starts. And when you're running a 41-year-old starting pitcher out there, you got to take the good with the bad. So we'll see what he can do against the Mets here. The last time he faced the Mets was back on July 10th, and he was great. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run allowed. So I'm not, hating Charlie Morton on the mound in this one going up against the Mets. The Tigers' bullpen's been getting better and better down the stretch, down to a 3.94 bullpen ERA, so not the most reliable unit, but definitely not terrible. The offense still floundering a bit. I mean, 5-1-5 in that series against the Royals is not amazing. 0-6-3-8 over their few before that. They're somehow still 8th in the majors in runs scored, but 15th in batting average and 14th in on-base percentage. Those numbers are becoming more and more pedestrian. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Mets are -110. The Tigers are -110. There's a total of 8.5 in this game. The Mets are 28-37 on the road, 32-28-5 to the under on the road. Detroit's 44-25 at home, 34-30-5 to the over at home. I really don't think this is a crazy spot to take the Tigers at all. I don't know if I have enough confidence in Charlie Morton to put it in the pinned comment, but it definitely has a shot. I think the Tigers are playing way better baseball right now than the Mets are. I'm just not loving what I'm seeing right now coming from the Mets or Manaea, so definitely give me a look here at the Tigers at -110. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Blue Jays at 79-58 on the season. Didn't have a great time in that series against Milwaukee. We'll see what they can do in this one going up against the Reds. They did win the last game of that series, so give them credit there. They'll hand the ball in this one to Chris Bassett, who's 11-7 on the year, a 4.14 ERA. His last couple of starts seems like he's getting back at it. I mean, they weren't amazing necessarily, but he did strike out 10 against the Pirates and only give up 2 earned runs in each of these starts. Both were losses for Toronto, but it was definitely not Bassett's fault. And he's really been a lot better over his last 5 outings, so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, see if he can, put things back together and, get back to the way he was throwing the ball early in the year where he was looking borderline dominant. Now, the Toronto bullpen's been a problem. A 4.09 bullpen ERA has not been a strength of this team, but a real strength has been this offense, guys. They're 79-58 on the year for a reason. They are 7th in runs scored. They're 1st in both batting average and on-base percentage. This team has only a 3-game lead down the AL East. They have to finish strong if they want to come out on top there and keep the Yankees and the Red Sox at bay. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Reds, who managed to win 1 out of 3 there against the Cardinals. Slam that thumbs up button, guys, if you cashed the Reds with us yesterday. It was looking rough there in the early goings, but they do find a way to get the win. They'll hand the ball in this game to Hunter Green, who's 5-4 on the year, a 2.81 ERA. He'd been looking borderline unhittable there for a bit since coming back from injury. Seems like he's, getting back to semi-normal. He did have a little bit of trouble against the Dodgers his last time out, but it was not a disaster start or anything like that. So we'll see what he can look like against the Toronto Blue Jays. Obviously a very tough, one of the toughest teams you can face as a starting pitcher in the majors, but I think Hunter Green will be fine out there. Maybe not dominant, but I think he'll be fine. The bullpen for the Reds is getting better and better, down to a 3.89 bullpen ERA, so that's been somewhat helpful down the stretch, but really the offense has let this team down a lot. They're coming off a 7-run game there yesterday, so that's cool, but 2-5-1-3-0 the games before that is not so cool. They're down to 13th in the majors in runs scored. They're 18th in batting average and 22nd in slugging percentage. That just does not paint a picture to me of an elite MLB offense. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Blue Jays are +110. The Reds are -130. We've got totals of 8 or 8.5 out there. Toronto's 34-34 on the road, 35-29-4 to the under on the road. Or the over on the road, and Cincinnati's 36-30 at home, 40-21-5 to the under at home. That's actually an MLB best to the under at home. Kind of crazy to see that happening in the Great American Ballpark. But looking at the numbers for this game again, I would lean just slightly towards over 8. I think we're going to see some offense in this game, but that's not going anywhere near the pinned comment. I do like the Reds here once again, some amount, but Hunter Green, I don't know if he and the bullpen there for the Reds have enough to keep those Toronto Blue Jay bats at bay. That is kind of a tall order. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is stumpthespread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, NCAA football, and NFL Week 1 picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport over there the last several years in a row and has had a great 2025 season overall. July was a big winning month. August took a little bit of a step back, but we are ready to get back after it here in the dog days of summer in September with the, everything heating up, the playoff races, teams tanking it out, like lots of exciting stuff happening in Major League Baseball. We've got NFL picks loaded up and ready to go in there already with NFL Week 1 looming. Only a few days, guys, and we'll be looking at some real authentic NFL football action. At stumpthespread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free to use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not usually will not always match what you see in the video, as I am not the premium MLB handicapper or NFL or NCAA football handicapper over there at Stump the Spread. So definitely get over there, check in on that premium content. Coming off a little bit of a rough day there yesterday, but looks like we're going to close things on a win. We've got Miami, Florida there as an NCAA pick. As a 2-unit play, they're currently up 27-24 over Notre Dame. And Notre Dame does have the ball. They've got a chance here at the end of this game to maybe tie it up and force overtime or maybe even win. But right now, it's looking like Miami is in a pretty good spot. So hopefully we finish things off on a win there on the premium side. Also, guys, you got to get over there to stumpthespread.com. Click that link in the description to go over there, and you can get on the email newsletter list, guys. It's fantastic information straight to your inbox every single day. There'll be at least one free pick, oftentimes 2 free picks. Information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, WNBA is often covered in there. There'll be lots of free NFL. There's been lots of free NFL and college football content coming out in there. We've got NFL futures in there. We've got parlays in there, like all kinds of fantastic information. So definitely get over there, get on that email list. All they need is your name and your email address. That's it. You'll get one email straight to your inbox or your spam folder. So check your spam folder, but every single day. So definitely get in on that, guys. And also, if you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, you want to sign up for a YouTube channel membership by clicking that little join button right below the video. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe more importantly, they get access to our members-only giveaways. And we do a members-only giveaway here at Stump the Spread on YouTube every single month, and it is the first of the month. It's 7 days since our last giveaway. That means we are about to roll the wheel here once again. The name of every single YouTube channel member we have is on this wheel right here that you're seeing on screen right now. We're about to click this button and find out who is going to win the hoodie. We do this every single week here on Stump the Spread. So definitely get in there, get in the mix if you want. For next week, we'll be doing another giveaway here in 7 days. So we're gonna click the button, see who ends up winning this hoodie. I'll mail a hoodie straight to your mailbox or wherever you ask me to mail it, guys. That's where it will go. Looks like the winner this week is going to be Tony Hurd. Tony Hurd, if you are watching this video, see that you won the giveaway, get down there in the comment section. Let me know that you see that you won, and we will get in contact with you, get your size and get your address, and we will get that out to you as soon as possible. Usually these hoodies make it to the winners in around a week. So definitely the quicker you get back to me, the quicker you can get your hoodie. But now, guys, we got to dive back in. We've got a ton of games to cover here on a very loaded MLB slate. So let's get back after it. We're diving back in. And next up, we're going to be looking at the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the Boston Red Sox. The Guardians come into this game fresh off a tough loss there, losing 4-2 in their last game of the series against the Mariners. That loss did snap a 4-game winning streak at 68-67 on the year. They've got work to do, but they're still alive in that American League wild card race. They'll hand the ball in this one to Parker Messick. He's 1-0 on the year, a 0.66 ERA. He's only made 2 starts, but this kid has come up and really kind of lit the world on fire here right out of the gates. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, no walks, struck out 6 in a 3-0 shutout win against the Tampa Bay Rays. He also gave only 1 run in his season debut against the Diamondbacks. Like, this kid's throwing the ball great right now, and he's got a very good bullpen behind him. The Cleveland bullpen, a 3.59 bullpen ERA. Excellent stuff there. No problems there. The offense, though, continues to be not ideal. They're 28th in the majors in runs scored. They're last in batting average. They're last in on-base percentage. Like, it's a little bit tough to get behind this team off with what they're doing at the plate. I mean, they've scored 2, 4, 5, 4, 3, and 0 runs over their last few. Like, it's a little bit bleak offensively. Now, the Red Sox, on the other hand, they've been playing pretty well. They're 76 and 62 on the year. They're 3.5 games back in the AL East. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Brian Bello. He's 10 and 6 on the year, a 2.99 ERA, and they're hoping he has the medicine to, fix things up. They did lose 2 out of 3 against the Pirates the last time Bello was on the mound. A great start against the Orioles. Time for that, a fantastic start against the Yankees, and 4 out of his last 5 starts actually have been premium level outings. Now, we'll see what he can do against a team like these Cleveland Guardians. I don't believe he's faced Cleveland recently. Yeah, he faced them back in April, and that's way too long ago, so we don't even really care what happened there, but he's throwing the ball great right now. The Boston bullpen's even better than the Cleveland bullpen, so that's a big help. The offense didn't look great against the Pirates, obviously. They scored 5-3-2, 3-3-5 over their last several games. That's not what we're used to seeing here from Boston. Normally, they're an elite level offense. They're 5th in the majors in runs scored this season, 8th in on base percentage, so we'll see if they can get back after it here. The odds makers definitely think there's a chance. The Guardians are plus 135. The Red Sox are minus 155. Total of 8.5 in this game. Cleveland's 33 and 34 on the road, 35, 37, and 5 to the under on the road. Boston's 41 and 27 at home, 36, 30, and 2 to the under at home. First up in this game, I think under 8.5 is very, very reasonable. No run first inning also makes sense to me. I think we're going to see very little offense in this game, especially early on. In terms of a side, I'm leaning a little bit towards the Cleveland Guardians. I think they could sneak a win here. I think Messick on the mound is a huge plus for them. The kid's been looking amazing. I think he can give, the Red Sox, who are not hitting the ball great right now, a lot of trouble. So the Guardians at plus 135 actually have a chance to be our dog of the day, even though they're a pretty offensively challenged team. I also, like I said, guys, think the under has some value. Rolling through these games, we're looking at the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Angels at 64 and 72, pretty much out of the mix there in the American League wildcard hunt, but they did just win 2 out of 3 against the Astros. They'll hand the ball in this one to Yusei Kikuchi, who's 6 and 9 on the season, a 3.68 ERA. Coming off a terrible start against the Rangers, but that was fresh off a great start against the Reds. He's been a little bit all over the place, kind of lacking that consistency that you would hope for. In terms of history against the Astros, he had a great start against them back in June, but that was in a game we eventually saw the Angels lose. We'll see what he can do in this one. I think he'll be fine. I don't really think he's going to be amazing necessarily. Now, the Angels bullpen, that's a problem. One of the worst 3 or 4 bullpens in the majors all year long. That's not changing here towards the end of the season. The offense, and the pitching staff in general had a pretty good time in that series against the Astros, but 3, 4, and 0 offensively not great. The bullpen and the starting rotation were obviously very good. Over the course of this season, I don't have a ton of amazing things to say about the Angels at the plate. They've been an above average slugging percentage team, I suppose, but when you're 29th in batting average and 27th in on base percentage, you're not a great offense. So we'll see what they do on the road against the Astros, who still have a 2-game lead out there in the AL West. They'll hand the ball to Luis Garcia. He's 2-2 on back in 2023 with a 4.00 ERA. That's the last time we saw him on the big league mound. So yeah, coming off obviously long layoff, lots of elbow problems. He seems like he's back, ready to go. We'll see which version of him is out there on the mound and how long they leave him out there. Now, whenever he comes out, that Astros bullpen's been pretty decent, not quite as reliable here recently, but not terrible, so we'll see how that goes. Obviously, the offense, 0, 1, 2, 4, and 4 over their last few games is horrible. They're 22nd in the majors in runs scored. They are 16th in slugging percentage. I don't care if you're 4th in batting average. If you can't score any runs, you can't score any runs. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Angels are plus 120. The Astros are minus 145. Got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Angels are 29 and 37 on the road, 35, 29, and 2 to the over on the road. Houston's 41 and 29 at home, 39, 29, and 2 to the under at home. I don't like anything from this game if I'm being completely honest. I'll lean just slightly towards the Angels with Kikuchi on the mound getting plus 120 against a guy that hasn't pitched since 2023, but really, this is not a game I'm going to get very involved. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The White Sox did get the 3-2 win there over the Yankees in Game 4 of that series to save themselves from the sweep. We don't have a confirmed starter for the White Sox at time of recording here, so we'll see how it goes, see who ends up being on the mound. Over the course of the year, they're 26th in quality starts and 21st in batting average against, so not really holding my breath for some amazing starter to magically appear there on the mound for the White Sox here in Game 1 of this series. So we'll see how that goes. Their bullpen's been slightly better than I would have expected, but they're up to a 4.16 bullpen ERA, which is not great, and the offense has obviously been pretty atrocious. 3, 3, 2, 4, 1, 4, and 7 over their last few games. They're 26th in the majors in runs scored. They're 28th in batting average, 28th in on base percentage. this is a terrible offense. There's no way around it. So we'll see what they do against the Twins, who are 62-74 on the season. They just won 2 out of 3 against the Padres, so that's cool, but not going to make a difference in the long run for them. Bailey Ober will get the start for the Twins in this one. He's 4-7 on the season, a 5.14 ERA. Coming off a rough start against Toronto, he gave up 10 hits over 5 innings, but somehow only gave up 4 earned runs in a game that the Twins somehow won 7-5. Before that, he had been throwing the ball pretty well, so we'll give him credit there. We'll see what he can do against the White Sox, obviously not the toughest team to face. He hasn't faced them since back in April, and he was good in that outing, but not dominant, so we'll see what we get from Bailey Ober in this one. The Twins' bullpen's a huge concern for them, a terrible bullpen unit, a 4.43 bullpen ERA. That's a pretty big yikes, and it's not like the offense for the Twins has been incredible. They hit the ball really well against the Padres, scoring 7-3-7 in that series, but while they've been swinging the bats a little bit better, I'm still not that high on this team offensively. They're 25th in runs scored, 25th in batting average. Like, just not a team that you can really trust at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this one, the White Sox are plus 150. The Twins are minus 173. A total of 8.5 in this game. The White Sox are 19-46 on the road, 38-24-3 to the under on the road. The Twins are 34-32 at home, 32-31-3 to the under at home. I can't give you a massive lean on this one because I don't know who's starting for the White Sox. I will lean a bit towards the Twins, but minus 173 is way too expensive, so there's no way this makes the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. The Athletics just got swept in a 3-game series against the Rangers, but at 63-75 on the year, their season was pretty much already over. They'll hand the ball in this one to Luis Morales. He's 2-0 on the year, a 1.19 ERA, coming off a dazzling start against Detroit back on the 27th. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 7 and walked 2 in a 7-0 win. Over his last 5 starts, this kid has been absolutely electric, mowing down the Tigers, the Mariners, the Angels, the Orioles, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Those last 2 were bullpen outings, but since becoming a starter, he has just been lights out. So we'll see if that continues here. I don't see any reason it should change. The bullpen for the Athletics, though, that's not changing either, and it's bad. A 4.80 bullpen ERA is a pretty big yikes for me. The bullpen is definitely one of the things that held this team back. Now, the offense has helped a lot. I mean, 6-3-2 in that series against the Rangers is not the norm for this team. They're 12th in the majors in runs scored this year, 5th in batting average, 4th in slugging percentage. Obviously, Kurt's going out with that oblique injury. He's listed as day-to-day after getting a clean MRI back. We'll see when he ends up out there again, but this offense has been no joke. Even without him, like, this is a team that's got some very solid bats. So we'll see what they do here against the Cardinals, who did win 3 out of their last 4, so that's nice. They'll hand the ball in this one to Sonny Gray, who's 12-7 on the year, a 4.19 ERA. His last start, he was great against the Pirates, but the Cardinals did lose that game, and I mean, over the course of the season, this guy has not put up ace-like numbers, which is what he's supposed to be for the Cardinals, and just really has not been that this year. So we'll see what Sonny Gray does here against the Athletics. Not a pushover team, that's a certainty. Now, the Cardinals' bullpen's been excellent. No way around that. Not trying to shortchange them there. They've been one of the best bullpens in the majors here down the stretch, so that's a big plus. But the offense has kind of dried up. 4-4, 7-4, 1-3 over their last few games is not going to get the job done. They're 16th in runs scored, 17th in batting average, 26th in slugging percentage. Like, can't get too excited about the Cardinals right now. So looking at the numbers here, the Athletics are plus 120. The Cardinals are minus 140. We've got a total of 8 in this game. The Athletics are actually 34-35 on the road, 33-30-6 to the over on the road. The Cardinals are 37-32 at hhome, 35-30-4 to the over at home. I would lean more towards under than over in this game, but I don't love it. What I do like here a lot is the Athletics at plus 120. Morales has been lights out recently. I don't trust Sonny Gray on a day-to-day basis. I think there's a very real chance the Athletics could win this one and maybe win it comfortably, jumping all over Sonny Gray, who has not been a great pitcher this season for the Cardinals. So definitely give me the Athletics here at plus 120 with a chance to make the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. Slam that thumbs up button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing the Atlanta Braves with us yesterday as our dog of the day. Very cool stuff there. At 62-75 on the year, I don't think they're going to be making the playoffs or anything like that, but they'll hand the ball in this one to Spencer Strider. He's 5-12 this season, a 4.95 ERA, coming off a huge bounce back performance. He had been floundering aggressively there, but went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and a 2-1 loss against the Marlins. A big step in the right direction for a guy that was looking great, then all of a sudden was looking like a complete dumpster fire. So we'll see if he can keep looking great here. He's going up against the Cubs. That might not be the easiest opponent. The Atlanta bullpens looked better recently, maybe not incredible over the course of the season, where they're sporting a 4.16 bullpen ERA, but definitely an acceptable level of, bullpen action there recently. The offense, 3-2-1, 4-12-11. they've shown the ability to, just bust out and have these crazy days, but they're 15th in runs scored, they're 20th in slugging percentage, and 19th in batting average. Just not amazing at the plate, and definitely not amazing recently. So we'll see what they do against the Cubs. Chicago, they won 2 out of 3 against the Rockies, but lost the last game of that series. They're 78-59 on the year, 6.5 games back of Milwaukee in the NL Central, but they're in great shape in the wild card. They'll hand the ball in this one to Colin Ray, who's 10-6 this year, a 4.23 ERA, coming off a horrendous start against the Giants. He'd been throwing the ball great there for a while, and then just did not show up there against San Francisco whatsoever. So we'll see what he can do here against the Braves. Not a team he's faced this season. The Cubs bullpen hasn't been as good down the stretch, but a 3.88 bullpen ERA is not in panic mode right now. It's not that bad. What maybe the Cubs should be panicking about is how bad their offense has been since the All-Star break. It has not been great. Playing, at Coors Field against the Rockies, they scored 5, 4, and 11 runs in that series. That's not amazing if you're supposed to be one of the best offenses in the majors. They're 6th in runs scored this year, but 14th in batting average, 11th in on-base percentage. A lot of those numbers very much headed in the wrong direction. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Braves are plus 105. The Cubs are minus 125. We've got a total of 8 in this one. Atlanta's 27-42 on the road, 34-30 and 5 to the over on the road. The Cubs are 41-23 at Wrigley, 31-27 and 6 to the under at home. This game, I'm not showing a crazy amount of value because I don't really know what I'm going to get out of either one of these starting pitchers, so I'm probably going to stay away from this one mostly. If you're begging me for a side, I do think the Cubs will probably figure out a way to get the win, and maybe Colin Ray will bounce back, but I could see this going either way. Rolling along here, guys, we got the Philadelphia Phillies heading to Milwaukee to take on the Brewers. The Phillies just won 3 out of 4 against the Braves, and with a nice 6-game cushion there in the NL East, I'm sure they're not too worried about what's happening down the stretch of the season. They'll hand the ball in this game to Taijuan Walker, who's 4-7 on the year, a 3.63 ERA. His last start, he gave up 10 hits over 5 innings against the Mets and 4 earned runs. In a game, we saw the Phillies lose 6-0. Over his last 5 starts, he did have some decent ones, but they were against terrible teams like the Nationals. So going up against a team as good as the Brewers should be a bit of a scary spot for him. The last time he faced Milwaukee, 4 innings, 7 hits, and 4 earned runs in a 6-2 loss. So definitely not a great matchup here for Taijuan Walker. The Phillies bullpen's been a huge problem. That's why we were able to cash that Braves pick there as our dog of the day on Sunday, because the bullpen continues to flounder. A 4.37 bullpen ERA there for the Phillies is not getting the job done. The offense, very mediocre. I know they had 19 runs in Game 1 against the Braves. Cool. Those extra runs don't do you any good. They followed that up by scoring 2, 3, and 1 runs after that in that series. Not great. Not great at all. They're not swinging the hottest bats coming into this game. Sure, they're tied for 9th in the majors in runs scored, and yeah, Schwarber's hit a ton of home runs this year, but we'll see what they do here against the Brewers, a very, very real baseball team that's killing it. They're 6.5 games up in the NL Central. They did lose the last game of that series against the Blue Jays 8-4, but looked really good in that series in general. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jacob Misiorowski, who's 4-2 on the season, a 4.33 ERA. This kid came up looking absolutely unhittable. Now, once some tape got out on him, the big league bats are going to catch up to you at least a little bit. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, but struck out 10 against the Diamondbacks his last time out. The Brewers did win that game 9-8, but it was not the smoothest sailing, and it hasn't been the smoothest sailing here for him down the stretch. We'll see what he looks like against the Phillies, a team that comes into this one swinging some pretty cold bats. The Brewers' bullpen's been decent to back him up. A 3.76 bullpen ERA is not something to cry about. The offense, 4-4-7, 4-2, and 9 over their last few. Not killing it. They're still second in the majors in runs scored. They're second in both batting average and on base percentage. So one of the most dangerous offenses out there. They're just not getting a ton of runs across the plate at this exact moment. So we'll see what they do in this game. Looking at the numbers, the Phillies are plus 135. The Brewers are minus 160. We've got a total of 9 in this game. The Phillies are 34-35 on the road. 41-24 and 4 to the under on the road. That's an MLB best to the under. The Brewers are 45-24 at home. 35-32 and 2 to the under at home. I do like under 9 in this game. I don't like it enough to put in the pinned comment, but I think it's very, very live. In terms of a side, I will definitely take the Brewers at minus 160. I worry a little bit about Misiorowski, so that would be the thing that would hold this one out of the pinned comment. He just hasn't looked dominant enough recently, but I do think the Brewers are probably going to put a lot of offense in this game and probably get the win. Rolling along here, guys, we've got the San Francisco Giants heading to Colorado to take on the Rockies. We did just see Verlander win 265. He threw 121 pitches, which is a lot when you're 121 years old. The Giants, 68-69 on the year, still technically alive in the wild card hunt, will hand the ball in this game to Kai Wei Teng. He's 1-3 on the year, an 8.78 ERA. His last outing was a bit better, I suppose, but things have been really, really rocky here for him to start his season. It's been pretty brutal. We'll see if he can bounce back a little bit here against a terrible team like the Rockies, but I'm not holding my breath. The Giants' bullpen, though, they're right there to back them up, and they've been amazing this year. The second best bullpen in the major leagues this season. The offense has come alive, guys. 13-1, 15-4, and 12 over their last few games. Not like this, Giants team to be having these big offensive outbursts. They're 23rd in runs scored this year and 27th in batting average, but if they've found something here down the stretch, maybe it could be good here, especially against the Rockies, who at 39-98 on the year are into for a historically bad season. They are coming off that win yesterday. That doesn't make me think they're going to win 2 in a row. They haven't done that in very many times this season at all. They'll hand the ball in this game to Chase Dollander. This young 23-year-old's 2-11 on the season, a 6.55 ERA. Had a very good start his last time out, dominated the Astros in a game we would eventually see the Rockies lose 4-0, but prior to that got shelled by the Dodgers, shelled by the Diamondbacks. We'll see what he can do here against the Giants, but I'm not expecting miracles right now. Obviously, the Rockies' bullpen's been atrocious, one of the worst 2 bullpens in all of the major leagues. The offense, 5-3, 7-3, 0, 6, and 0 over their last few. I mean, they're 29th in runs scored this year. They're 29th in on-base percentage. This team is bad, and it's starting to feel like they're bad on purpose. So, looking at the numbers for this game, I'm surprised to see them look slightly competitive. The Giants are minus 145. The Rockies are plus 120. A total of 11.5 in this one. The Giants are 33-35 on the road, 35-28 and 5 to the over on the road. The Rockies are 21-47 at home. That's an MLB worst mark at home. 34-32 and 2 to the under at home. I will certainly take the Giants here at minus 145. Obviously, I don't love their starting pitching situation in this game, but the Rockies are not going to win 2 in a row here. I think the Giants come out and get the job done here pretty comfortably. They are swinging the bats really well right now, and that should definitely help. Next on the docket, we've got the Baltimore Orioles heading to San Diego to take on the Padres. The Orioles at 61-76 on the year, straight up not having a very good time this season. They'll hand the ball to Kyle Brandish in this game, who's 0-1 on the year, a 3.00 ERA. He's only made 1 start since coming up from the minors there and looked pretty good. Back on the 26th, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and struck out 10 against Boston. Unfortunately for him, the Orioles managed to lose that game 10-0. The Baltimore bullpen has been a huge Achilles heel for this team. A 4.66 bullpen ERA is not great. The offense, though, has been the real catalyst for their failure. They're 18th in runs scored, 22nd in batting average, 25th in on-base percentage. They've scored 2-11, 8, 2, 2, 0, 3, 3, and 8 over their last few games. Gone is that elite offense of yesteryear, guys. It's been pretty brutal this season if you're an Orioles fan to watch that massive, massive fall off. So we'll see what they can do here against the Padres, who are now 2 games back with the Dodgers in the NL West. They lost 2 out of 3 against the Twins. That's not what you're supposed to be doing there. They'll hand the ball in this game to Dylan Cease, who at 6-11 on the year with a 4.82 ERA, has definitely not lived up to expectations. His last 3, maybe 4 starts have all been kind of mediocre. That being said, the Padres are 4-1 over his last 5 times on the mound, so take that for what it's worth. We'll see what he can do here against the Orioles. Not a team he's faced this season, but I'm not expecting tons of miracles out of Dylan Cease. That just isn't the way he's thrown the ball this season. Now, while Cease has been mediocre, the Padres bullpen has been amazing. The best bullpen in the major leagues this year, and it hasn't been particularly close. The offense for the Padres has also been a problem. 2-12, 4, 3, 7, and 6 over their last few games is honestly not bad hitting for a team that's 20th in the majors in runs scored, despite being 6th in batting average and 9th in on-base percentage. Like, at some point, it feels like this offense needs to bust out. Will it be in this game? Well, we'll see. The Orioles are plus 135. The Padres are minus 160. We've got a total of 7.5. Baltimore's 30-38 on the road, 41-25 and 2 to the under on the road. The Padres are 43-22 at home, 38-28 and 2 to the under at home. I think the under 7.5 is actually maybe theoretically in play. I don't love it, though. In terms of a side, I'm going to lean slightly towards the Orioles at plus 135 with Brandish on the mound, but this isn't a game where I've got a ton of conviction, guys. I do worry a lot about the Orioles bullpen and their offense just failing to show up. Rounding into the home stretch here, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Mariners at 73-64 on the year. Still have work to do if they want to find that top spot in the AL West. They're 2 games back of Houston. They'll hand the ball in this one to Luis Castillo. He's 8-7 on the year, a 3.75 ERA, coming off a bad start against the Padres, a bad start against the Phillies, and a bad start against the Mets. Like, we're just not seeing the best out of him recently. Maybe he's hurt or something. We'll see. The last time he faced the Rays, he was great. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and a 3-2 win. But since then, he's thrown the ball really, really poorly. Been struggling for sure. The Mariners bullpen hasn't been as great down the stretch either, up to a 3.84 bullpen ERA. The offense, 4-3, 4-4, 6, 9, and 11 over their last several games. They're 11th in the majors in runs scored, 21st in batting average. Obviously, what we've seen Cal Raleigh do has been amazing, but it just hasn't been that good of a look for the Mariners at the plate here recently. So we'll see what they do against the Rays. They come into this game winners of 3 in a row. They swept the Nationals at 67 and 69 on the year. They've got an awful lot of ground to make up, but maybe it's not impossible. They'll hand the ball in this game to Shane Baz, who's 8 and 11 on the year, a 5.19 ERA. This kid finally had a bit of a bounce back to break a long string of bad starts. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs allowed there against the Guardians, albeit in a 3-0 loss, but at least he threw the ball well, had the ball under control a lot, and didn't give up 5 home runs like he did against the Yankees. So we'll see what he can do in this one. The Rays bullpen's been excellent this season, so they're right there to back him up. The offense, 7, 4, 4, and 3 over their last few is definitely not crazy numbers. They're 13th in runs scored this year, 19th in on-base percentage. Certainly quite a bit of work still to be done for this team at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Mariners are minus 120. The Rays are plus 102. We've got a total of 8.5. The Mariners, they're only 31 and 36 on the road, 37, 29, and 1 to the over on the road. That's an MLB best. Tampa Bay's 34 and 33 at home, 35, 28, and 4 to the under at home. I actually think this is a very reasonable spot to back over 8.5. I think we're seeing quite a bit of offense in this game. Not super high on either one of these starters at the moment. In terms of a side, I will take the Mariners with Castillo on the mound, just under the impression that, maybe he'll have a bit of a bounce back here. But honestly, I think over 8.5 might be my bigger lean. Last but not least, we're looking at the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Rangers at 71 and 67 on the year have to feel great. They've won their last 5 in a row, and they are making some real headway as they try and, keep themselves in that playoff hunt out there in the American League. They're currently 2.5 games back of the Mariners. They're playing great right now. Unfortunately, they're going to have to hand the ball to Patrick Corbin, who's 7-9 on the year, a 4.33 ERA, but on the bright side, he's coming off a dominant start against the Angels. 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, walked 1 and struck out 8. Now, what can we expect from 36-year-old Patrick Corbin coming off an 8-inning appearance? Well, probably not a lot of sample size there. The last time he had an 8-inning appearance was back in June, very early June, and he followed that up with a decent but not great start against the Twins. That being said, the offense put up 16 runs, so it didn't end up mattering. So we'll see what he can do here. Like I said, not a huge sample size on him coming off of these long starts, so we'll see what he can do. He might be fine. But he's going up against the Diamondbacks, a team that he hasn't faced at all this season. So we'll see how it goes. The Rangers' bullpen has been good, a 3.67 bullpen ERA, can't complain about that. The offense has really turned things on recently, 9-9-5, 27-0 over their last few. They're 19th in runs scored, 24th in batting average, and 26th in on-base percentage over the course of the season. But right now, they're swinging some pretty hot bats. So we'll see what they do against the Diamondbacks. They come into this game 68 and 70 on the year, so probably not going to be a team that ends up in the postseason, but they're, still technically in the mix, 5.5 games back of the Mets in the National League wildcard hunt. They're going to hand the ball to Ryan Nelson in this game, who's 7-3 on the year, a 3.53 ERA, coming off a very good start there against the Brewers. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run allowed, walked 0 and struck out 3, and a 3-2 win. So we'll see. We'll see if he can have another good start like that in terms of history for him this season against the Texas Rangers. He faced them back in early August, and 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, and 5 earned runs in a 7-6 extra inning loss. Doesn't exactly fill me with multitudes of optimism. So we'll see how it goes. The bullpen for the Diamondbacks has obviously been terrible. That's not a big help. The offense, though, has just kept right on chugging. Despite being big sellers there at the trade deadline, they've scored 4, 6, 3, 6, 3, 8, and 5 over their last few games. They're still 4th in the majors in runs scored, 2nd in slugging percentage, so still a very, very dangerous lineup. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Rangers are plus 130, the Diamondbacks are minus 155. We've got a total of 9.5 in this game. The Rangers, not a very good road team, 28 and 40 on the road, 35, 21, and 1 to the over on the road. The Diamondbacks are 34 and 32 at home, 32, 30, and 4 to the under at home. I'm actually going to roll with the Rangers here, getting plus 130. I don't fully trust Ryan Nelson. I definitely don't trust that Diamondbacks bullpen. Obviously, Corbin is coming off an extended start, but it was a really good one. Maybe he figured something out there. Give me the Rangers and their red-hot bats in this game. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Thanks for watching. click the link in the description to get over there to stumpthespread.com. Check out the premium picks over there at Stump the Spread. Also, guys, you definitely want to get on that email newsletter. It's fantastic information straight to your inbox every single day, and we've got NFL premium picks in there as well. So definitely get in the premium section and check those out because there's player props in there now these days too. Guys, that's all we have here for today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.